This is Conscient Podcast, episode 71, a very, very special episode because I have my friends here from the Green Sessions. I'll explain everything later, but we only have 10 minutes left. It's October 1st in this meeting, and we've been debriefing about this thing called the Green Sessions. And I really want to give an opportunity to my friends here to just say a few words about some of the takeaways they have from these events. So why don't we start with Emma Stenning? Can you just quickly introduce yourself and one or 2 points?
Thanks, Claude. I'm Emma, Executive Director at SoulPepper, and have been part of this steering group since the beginning. And I guess the couple of things, I'm sure my friends here will talk about the specifics of different speakers, but I think the couple of things that spring to mind for me are that the Green Sessions was invented because this small group of people got together and decided we wanted to do something that created impact. And we put really a fairly modest amount of money behind it, and a huge amount of hours of time and passion. And I think I'm so proud of the impact. So I think for me, there's a big lesson, which is, a small group of committed people can really make a difference. And I think on this agenda, that is really, really encouraging for all of us. And that has been very, very inspiring for me. And on the flip side, I think what I sense at the Green Sessions is actually the power that we hold as a community, and actually the feeling that our sector is in dialogue about this most urgent issue is very, very uplifting and very powerful. So I'm just really interested in new and more opportunities for us to collaborate as a sector and pulling people into focus and a place of knowledge on this agenda, because that really was our starting hypothesis, which is that our sector needs literacy and confidence in order to step forward with impact. And that was our mission. And we have scratched the surface of that, I think, but I'm very proud of the contribution that we've made, and I'm very encouraged to do more.
Oh, great. Sandy Crawley, what are your thoughts?
Well, it goes back to the origins of ARCA, Artists for Real Climate Action, which happened totally organically. And this is not a drill.ca, is where you can learn more about that. But and it's the community. And then SoulPepper, when ARCA and SoulPepper came together and did a live event just before this crazy disease took our lives, it had all the values that we have carried through the Green Sessions, with the recognition that that embracing Indigenous values vis-a-vis nature is a kind of key to Canada to actually engaging fully in climate action. And then it was really the formation of community. I mean, there were so many highlights. I learned so much from so many people, including the people in this room with us now. But it was really the formation of this community and that momentum that Emma alluded to just now. I think it's something very real. And I think that with scale, which I'm sure Claude has told his listeners all about, is the next kind of a level up that we can carry on this work. And so it really is. And friendships formed in this room are actually mean a lot to me. But it's the general direction that we've come together to do something. And when you take action, it gives you hope, and that's working for me.
Well, thank you, Lisa Repo Martel.
Beautiful words, Emma and Sandy. Yes, I wholeheartedly agree with both of you that the main riches that have come out of this engagement has been strengthening of our community, and it's just so powerful not to be alone. And we forget that. We've been just getting this, a constant stream of communications from our culture about individualism, and even in terms of the environmental movement, what you can do on your own and how you can reduce your carbon footprint. And it's just unbelievable what it means to join a group. Just join a group. And it just has a kind of just a magical momentum of its own. So that's always just continues to be reinforced, that like you become accountable to the group because you said you do something and other people are counting on you, but also it feels like you can actually do something. So it does breed hope. Action breeds hope, and hope, it's not the other way around. Hope doesn't breed action. Action breeds hope. But another thing that I just more concretely that I continue to kind of want to move toward, and why it was so exciting to connect with, just kind of people who are not artists, but who are great communicators in the NGO and activist movement, is I just feel like that kind of marriage of artists with NGOs is a really, really powerful combination, a kind of, New Deal FDR Works Project Administration or whatever that thing, Works Progress Administration. So that's kind of my big dream, is that there's a more official way that kind of like the Artists Brigade, except for video content, basically, and that artists and NGOs can team up and help each other communicate.
Well, I'm sure there's momentum created by these events. Robin Steven, please.
Yes, hi. Thank you, Claude, and thanks. It's great to hear everybody's thoughts and feelings about the event. It was so, and it's so wonderful to be part of this group. I love what you said, Emma, at the beginning of the Green Sessions of just your commitment to making 15 minutes a day, taking, that in many ways it's easier than you think, and just joining this group and yes, being accountable 15 minutes a day of making whatever phone calls or whatever, it just is so uplifting and empowering. And what I have so much gratitude for this group for is this commitment to Indigenous artists and activists, and from the beginning of making sure that they're to try to reach out to those who have been on the front lines for far longer than I have, and who've been doing this work. And that I feel so grateful that they have come. Many different and Indigenous activists have come and participated in Green Sessions, and I feel that's been such an important thing going forward for us as I'm saying as artists in Canada, or I should say, me as a white settler. How do you become a better ally or co-conspirator and the lessons that I've learned through people that have come forward to speak have been so important in my education of being more sensitive to how do you the lessons about being forming relationships and taking the time. And Carolyn Crawley in the first one saying breathe and have gratitude, and Veronica Johnny saying give before you receive. It's that the Lemniscate image on the Métis flag, and that those were, slowing us down in a way to build relationships, but also to be behind the people that are on the front lines. And Dan Longboat, his beautiful words of wisdom have really stayed with me. So yes, so many riches. So thank you.
And I'm sorry to cut you off, but we'll try to get two more voices here before everybody has to run away. But one of the things that Dan talked about was value change for survival, which really stuck with me. But Pipa, do you mind just giving a few words?
Yeah, I'll speak on value change for survival because that seems to be my passion. But because I also work as a movement artist as well as an actor, I have two thoughts. One is about, as actors, we're taught to try to say yes and observe when we say no. And I think one of the reasons ARCA works is that we move towards the yes. And that's how Emma has led the Green Sessions as an extraordinary leader. It's always towards the yes. And so I'm thinking about the notion that action drives hope rather than waiting around for hope driving action. And that's also like us actors. We work in action, and we also don't wait for inspiration. The play happens in listening deeply, and it happens in action. And I think, of course, actors are natural activists. And then the other thing I'm thinking about is circles, being a movement person, and how Dan Longboat introduced us on our first day of human beings being within the circle of nature, not outside of it. And then, of course, Kate Rayworth talking about economics as a circle, and that no one should be left out of that circle, but it does have a container defined by nature. And it was just the very specific visual image of the fact that our movement forward to a post-carbon world must be essentially based in Indigenous values. Those are the values that keep us close to our hearts and connect our hearts and minds.
Well, this dialogue will continue, but I want to leave the last word to Rohan Kulkarni, who works with SoulPepper. You're the next generation. You're probably the youngest one here. So you want to just say a couple of words, and then we'll end this, because I know everybody has to go off to other meetings.
Yeah, thanks, Claude. So speaking of the next generation, I was really excited and happy to see that we did give a platform to a group of young voices in this conference, as well as in the session with Ali Rougeau and Naomi Klein, just having this dialogue between two generations. And then the most wonderful experience was being in a room with the Fridays for Future activists, who really shared not just their experiences, but also really valuable resources that they have used. And so giving a platform and the validation to those folks who are sort of on the front lines already as young people, I think they felt really validated to be in this group of really high profile speakers. And so I think we should continue to do that and more. So thanks for that.
Great. Well, I'll end with a big thanks to all of you, but in particular to Emma for her leadership, and also because she's going back to the UK in November of 2021. Thank you so much for your 3 years in Canada. It's made a huge difference. Your leadership is greatly appreciated. And we'll see. I know SoulPepper's planning to do another green sessions next year. Scale will also get involved. The artists community is getting mobilized, but it needs to accelerate. So let's all think and do and think. Thanks, guys.
Great.